A toddler given 2 days to live, after being diagnosed with a brain tumor, took part in a wedding ceremony, in which she married her RAF hero father. Andy Barnard, 31, based in Thetford, Norfolk, had always vowed that one day his only daughter would have the wedding of her dreams. But tragically that day will never come for 16-month-old Poppy Mai, after she was diagnosed with a rare and fatal brain tumor and given just 2 days to live. So Andy's RAF colleagues hastily arranged a wedding day for Poppy Mai, and the beautiful little bride married her hero father. Poppy Mai was escorted to the aisle by her mother Sammy Barnard, 29, and big brothers Riley, 6, and Jensen J., 4. Andy, who serves with the RAF 27 Squadron Regiment, said, "From the moment we found out Poppy Mai was a girl, I've said she'd have the wedding of her dreams one day. I never ever thought it would be like this. Our hearts are broken forever, but I wanted to keep my promise to my princess. It wasn't how I imagined, but she got her wedding day." It was just 6 weeks ago that the Barnard family had their world turned upside down. On February 14, Mum Sammy took Poppy Mai to the doctors. The usually playful toddler had gone off her food and drink and was constipated with a distended tummy. Sammy had also noticed she seemed off balance. Their GP put the little girl's symptoms down to teething and prescribed a laxative. But Poppy Mai grew worse, and Sammy noticed a lump appear under her ribcage. Now refusing all food and drink and unwilling to walk, Sammy took her back to the GP 10 days later. A different doctor prescribed a stronger laxative. But the following afternoon, on February 25, Sammy was so concerned she drove her daughter to their local A&E. The toddler, who had now started vomiting, was immediately admitted as doctors battled to stabilize her. Sammy said her calcium levels were way too high, and they had to address that first before they could start to work out what was wrong. "At the worst I thought she maybe had a really bad infection." Sammy's father, who was serving with his squadron in America, was kept informed over the phone. Only later that day an ultrasound revealed what appeared to be a mass in her stomach. Sammy said, "The consultant sat me down and said, 'You know this is much worse than constipation now, don't you?' I did. But when he said they suspected cancer, I was shocked." Sammy was told that they suspected her daughter had Wilms, a type of kidney cancer in children. Sammy had to break the news to her husband over the phone, and bosses arranged for him to be flown back to the UK to be with his daughter, who was being transferred to Addenbrooke's in Cambridge. She was thrilled to see her father again, but there was bad news when a CT scan revealed the mass on her kidney had started to spread, and speckles were detected in Poppy Mai's lungs. Sammy said, "At that point we knew we had a battle on our hands, but we had hope and vowed to do anything we could to save her." But, just 1 week on, the speckles had already grown into masses. Doctors now diagnosed a malignant rhabdoid tumor in her left kidney and lungs, a very rare and aggressive type of cancer. Her parents were warned that her chances of survival were slim. Sammy said, "Even then we still had hope, and if there was a chance she might survive, we had to believe in that chance." She started chemotherapy, and appeared to respond well. But on March 16, cancer was found in her brain. The size and position of the tumor above her right eye meant it was inoperable. Sammy said, "I was stunned. I couldn't believe we had been in hospital for 4 weeks, and it had only just been found." The brave mother asked how much time her daughter had left, and was told 2 days without treatment. Sammy said, "I can't even tell you how I felt, because I was just in utter shock and disbelief. We just looked at each other trying to take it in. For someone to tell you that your daughter could be gone in 2 days is unfathomable." Andy said, "I kept asking what they could do. I was sure there must be something. But treatment could prolong her life by a few weeks at most, and would come at a cost." Sammy said, "When they said it meant more chemo with painful side effects, I told them no. I couldn't put her through that. I couldn't watch her suffer anymore to save our own pain and grief." When the parents told staff they wanted to take their daughter home, to enjoy the time she had left pain-free, they were commended for their bravery. Sammy said, "We didn't feel brave, we felt utterly broken. But we felt sure we were doing the right thing. I already resented that I had already spent 4 weeks in hospital with Poppy My, putting her through treatment that could have never made any difference to her condition. If I had known about the brain tumor earlier, I would have taken her home straight away. We had already been robbed of too much precious wasted time in hospital, when she could have been with her family. Sammy and Andy sat their sons down to explain that Poppy My was coming home, to spend time with them before she had to go to heaven and become a star. Sammy said, "My oldest son told me he had known all along that Poppy My would become a star in heaven. But my youngest said that maybe the other stars would fix her so she could come home again. He cannot accept his cheeky little sister who makes him pretend cups of tea, and steals his toy cars is dying." They returned to their home in Thetford the following morning, and the next day on March 18th, Andy's colleagues arranged for the wedding ceremony to take place. They dressed a function room with ribbons and balloons, and Poppy My made her grand entrance in her cousin's christening gown. Sammy said, "I couldn't stop crying. Being our only daughter, we'd often talked about one day watching her get married. She looked so beautiful. But nobody could say the vows that had been written, because everyone was crying too much." Poppy My managed to stay awake for the ceremony and then fell asleep in her proud father's arms. Every day since has been a blessing, and the family are enjoying every precious minute they have left. One woman, Emma Pollard, was so moved by their plight she drove hundreds of miles to offer her help in person and has been staying with the family since last week. She said, "As a parent, I just had to do something. Can you imagine being told your child has 2 days?" Sammy said, "We are humbled and moved by the response, and it has given us strength to know so many have taken Poppy My into their hearts and lives. Of course, we have always known how special she is, but it has touched us deeply that others can see that too. My wish is for greater awareness in Poppy My's name. I gave birth to an angel, and soon she will become one. The pain is indescribable, but in talking about this, other parents might be spared from losing a child. I want people to remember Poppy My, remember the symptoms, and know my daughter will have helped to save other lives." Now 10 days after the bombshell news, Poppy My is fading, and every second is precious. They hope Poppy My's story will raise awareness of brain tumors after she was sent home from the GP twice, before her mother took her to A&E. The family have also set up a GoFundMe page to help them set up a trust in Poppy My's name for children with rare cancers.